What is going on, Panther Lair? We are talking about the Pittsburgh Panthers' home loss to the Syracuse Orange this past Saturday afternoon, 83-72. Now, on the season, Syracuse is shooting 32.2% on three-pointers. That includes this past Saturday against Pitt. However, they managed to connect on 10 of 22 triples, which is good for 45% on Saturday. And so we're going to dive into why they were so successful. Now, ultimately, this is going to boil down to blown ball screen coverages and not communicating. Oftentimes, the mistakes that usually lead to a loss or to being unsuccessful aren't necessarily the hardest thing to understand in terms of a high-level concept. But hey, let's dive into the details here, talk about what went wrong. Going to this first clip, DeMarco Minor is going to miss this three, and Syracuse is going to get into transition. Little drag screen pinup, and this is going to cause a switch, and this was part of the problem in several of these sequences here. And what ends up happening is because Minor gets hung up there, Barry Dunning Jr. has to high tag on the roll man, but as Minor continuously goes with his man as he is now diving towards the rim, you can see low man Biba, he's going to help here as well. He's at least going to show. What happens is it just leaves a wide open player, and Tyler Betsy, who basically is just a three-point shooter anyways, ends up making a three-point shot. So here we go. A little bit later here in the first half. Another switch situation. Communication on this three. So two players come to the ball. Let's back this one up actually a little bit here. So we see here, switching situation. And now you have Minor battling a bigger player in the post. This is forcing Nojus Indricitis to come over and potentially help. He's also the low man anyways. I don't think Indricitis has been particularly effective in this position to begin with. And what happens is a drive against Cummings, which players tend to give up drives. The pass just goes right into the vacated player. Witherspoon doesn't exactly split in this situation. Helps over. And another Betsy three. Okay, a little bit later in the first half here, common theme, switching situation, drive. Now they're able to switch back here, but the stunt by Minor, and the stunts were not great by any means. They were not effective on Saturday afternoon. He comes over. Now there's two with the ball. Just a simple kick out, pump fake. Witherspoon forced to step up. Now you have J.J. Starling wide open for a three. And part of it is that the recovery, the closeouts were not super disciplined. They had to be urgent because of overhelping, not a lot of communication. And guys were just simply able to make a pump fake, put the ball on the floor one time, and shoot a wide open in rhythm triple. Here we go early in the second half. Two players are on the ball. Now, when this gets kicked out here, so reasonable D, right? Like, they're not going to allow just a layup down here. But when this happens, you're going to see both freshmen, Amari Witherspoon and Roman Siulepa, converge up top here. And in doing so, Siulepa completely abandons Starling down here, who, again, overcommit because of overhelping. And now we have a wide open three. So, again, not overly complicated, but this just really shows a lack of discipline and a lack of communication here that's leading to a lot of these issues. One of the ways that Pitt could have probably been in this game is forcing the Orange to take a lot of threes and missing, but they're just not going to miss this many clean, wide open looks. And on the other side, we know the Panthers are not a great three-point shooting team. They can be in certain games, but the consistency is not there. They didn't shoot a good mark from this distance, and that ultimately, among other things, was one of the differences.